יעשה ואת שבתם ישמע ויושיעם. תהילת אדוני ידבר פי, בורך בבשר שבקודשו לעולם ועד. אנחנו נברך יה, מעתה ועד עולם.
Hallelujah. 194. All in Shabbat. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All in Shabbat. Hallelujah. 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 Bekocha. Hallelujah. Birkia uzo. Hallelujah. Benivorota. Hallelujah. Kerov good love. All in Shabbat, hallelujah, hallelujah. All in Shabbat, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Beteka shofar, hallelujah. Meniveo vechinor, hallelujah. Betofu makol, hallelujah. Menim bihugav. Oh, in Shabbat, hallelujah, hallelujah. Oh, in Shabbat, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Betil tele shama, hallelujah. Betil tele trua. God is Shabbat, hallelujah, hallelujah. Oh, in Shabbat, hallelujah, hallelujah. Oh, in Shabbat, hallelujah, hallelujah. Page 196. Nishmat kol kai de bereket shem kadonai Eloheinu v'roko basar. Atanid lak mishmlak mireklak el gadol gibor v'hanora el yon kanishamayim b'haaretz nehalel kon sheberka kon federka nun barek et shem kocheka kamor ledavid barki nafsi et Adonai b'kol kerai et shem kocho. Brutia.
Continue on page 218, Shochen Ad. Shochen Ad Maro V'kadosh Shemot V'chatuv rananu tzadikim b'Adonai L'asharim nava tehila V'fi asharim titalal U'divrei tzadikim titbarach ובלשון החסידים תתרומם, ובקרב קדושים תתקדש, ובמקלות רבבות עמך בית ישראל. ונעיני פרשם חמלכנו בכל דור ודור, שכחובה כל היצורים לפניך, אדוני אלוהינו, אלוהי אבותינו, להודות, להלל, לשבח, לפאר, לרומם, להדר, לברך לעלי ולקלס, על כל דברי שירו ותשבחות, דוד בן ישי עבדך, מהשיחך. ישתבח שמך לעם מלכנו, האל המלך הגדול והקדוש, בשמיים ובארץ, כי לך נאה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו. שיר ושבחה, הלל וזמרה, עוז וממשלה נצח, גדולה וגבורה, תהילה ותפארת, קדושה ומלכות. ברכות והודאות מעתה ועד עולם, ברוך אתה אדוני. אל מלך גדול בתשבחות, אל ההודעות, אדון הנפלאות, הבוחר בשירי זהירה, מלך מלכי העולמים. 220. יתגדל ויתקדש מרבה, ועמד יברכנו וימליך מלכותה, וחייכנו ויומכנו ובחייך בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם עולמי עמים. יתברך וישתבח ויפר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קודשה בריחו לעילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תאמירן מימה ויאמרו אמן. הכל יודוך והכל ישבחוך. אין כרך אדוני אלוהינו בעולם הזה ואין זולתך מלכנו לחיי העולם הבא. אפס בתך גואלנו למות המשיח והיינו מלך מושיענו את חיית המתים. אל אדון 2:28. אל אדון הכל המעשים ברוך ובורך לפי כל נשמה גודלו וטובו מלא עולם דעת ותבונה סובבים אותו. המיגע על חיות הקודש ונדר בכבוד על המרכבה זכות ומשול לפני כיסו חסד ורחמים לפני כבודו. טובים מאורו שפרה אלוהינו יצרם בדעת בבינה ופסקל כוח וגבורה נתן בהם להיות מושלים מקרב תבל מלאים זיו ופיקים נוגה נעזיבם בכל העולם שמחים בצאתם וששים בבואם נוסעים בימר צהוקונם פאר וכבוד נותנים לשמור צהלה ורינה לזכר מלכותו קרא לשמש ויזרח אור ראה והקיץ צורת הלבנה Shabbat notnim lo kol tzeva maro tiferet ugdula tzrafi ve'ofani ve'chayot hakodesh. Page 230. La'el asher shava min kol ha'ma'asim hayom hashvi'it v'la ve'asher v'chisei chevodot tiferet atzal yom ha'mincha one kara leyom ha'shabbat. יתברך מושיענו שבמעשה ידיך ועל מאורי אור שעשית יפארו הסלע. 234, we continue. יתברך צורנו ואלוקינו וגואלנו ברי קדושים ישתבח שמך לעד מלכנו. וכולם פותחים את פיהם בקדושה ובטהרה, בשירה ובזמרה, וברכים ושבחים ופארים ומעריצים, ומקדישים וממליכים את שם האל המלך הגדול הגיבור והנורא קדוש הוא. וכולם מקבלים עליהם עול מלכות שמיים זה מזה, ונותנים רשות זה לזה, להקדיש רצונם בנחת רוח, בשפה ברורה ובנימה קדושה, ולקח ארונים ואומרים מהירה, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ כבודו. והאופנים וחיות הקודש ברעש גדול, מנשאים לעומת צרפים, לעומתם שבחים ויאמרים, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקום. 236. האל ברוך נהימות ייתנו. גדולים כי לעולם חסדו. אור חדש על ציון תאיר, אור חדש על ציון תאיר, אור חדש על ציון תאיר, אור חדש על ציון תאיר. ונזכה כולנו מהרה לאורו, ונזכה כולנו מהרה לאורו. ברוך אתה אדוני יוצר המאורות. 238, אהבה רבה. אהבה רבה אהבתנו, אדוני אלוהינו, חמלה גדולה ויתרה, חמלת עלינו. אבינו מלכנו, מעבור אבותינו, שבחו בך, אבינו מלכנו. ואת למדך חוקי חיים, כן תכוננו למדנו, אבינו האב הרחמן, המרחם רחם עלינו, ותן בלבנו להבין ולהשכיל לשמוע, ללמוד ולמד, לשמור ולעשות. תלמוד את תורתך ויאהבה, והאר עינינו בתורתך, ותאבק ליבנו במצוותיך, ויחל לבבינו ליאהבה או יראה את שמך, ולא נבוש לעולם give בשם קודשך הגדול והנורא, הגדול והנורא בטחנו. נגילה ונשמחה, נגילה ונשמחה בישועתך. As you turn to page 240, gather our tzitzit, fringes from our talitot. As we recite the words V'havienu l'shalom me'arba kafot ha'aretz, gather our people in peace, Adonai, for the four corners of the earth. V'havienu l'shalom me'arba kafot ha'aretz, v'tolechenu kol memiut le'artzenu. Yirpol Yeshua ata, ubanu v'charta mikol aven lashon, v'keravtanu l'shimcha hakadol Selah be'emet lehodol lecha uyachecha be'ahava. Baruch atah Adonai abocher b'yamo Yisrael b'ahava. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha ub'chol nafshecha ub'chol meyodecha, ve'ayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha, ve'shinantam levanecha, ve'dibarta bam ve'shivtecha bebeitecha, umlechtecha b'derech, u'shokbecha u'kumecha, u'kshartam le'yot al yadecha, ve'hayu letotafot b'neinecha, u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, u'visharecha. Continue quietly, 244. Yeah, yeah. 246, we join together. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor, daber el menei Yisrael, ve'marta alehem, ve'asu lahem tzitzit, al kanfei migdehem letorotam, ve'natenu al tzitzit. Akana b'tetzechelet ve'aya lachem letzitzit uritem oto uzchartem ekol mitzvot Adonai v'azitem otam ve'lo taturu acharei levavchem ve'acharei einechem asher atem zonim achareihem למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, ויתן קדושים לאלוהיכם, Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher Hotzeti Etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim V'hiyod Lachem Le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem Emet. V'yatzim Nachem V'chayim Yashem. לדור ודור הוא קיים ושמו קיים וחיסון נכון מלכותו ואמונתו לעד קיים. Mehmet asher tahu Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu Malkeinu melech Avoteinu Go'elenu Go'el Avoteinu Yotzreinu Tzor Yeshuateinu Odenu Matzilenu Me'olam Shemecha En Elohim Zulatecha. Page 250. Ashrei ish isha shishman mitzvotecha v'tortecha udvaracha yasim al libam. Page 252, the top. Tehillah leil yom baruch hu borach Moshe u'bnei Yisrael echadu shira V'simcha rabba v'yamru chulam La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai Mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh Nora tehilot osefele Nora tehilot osefele Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Shira chadasha shebacho ge'olem Leshemacha sefat hayam Yachakolam Oluim lechu ve'yamru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed Tzor Yisrael kuma be'ezrat Yisrael Ovtechenu mecha Yehuda be'Yisrael Lo aleinu Adonai tzevaot shemo Kadosh Yisrael Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Turn together on page 255 for the Shacharit Amidah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor ve'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim ve'Koneh HaKol ve'Zocher Chasdei Abo v'Imahot u'Mevii Geola livnei b'neihem Ma'at Shemo b'Ahava Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מחכה חיי בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומותיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, בכמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלוך, מלך ממין ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה לאחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים. קדושה 256. נקדש שמך מעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי אדום, ככתוב היה נביאך וקרא זה אל זה ויאמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך הארץ כבודו. אז בקורש גדול, אדיר וחזק, משמיע קול, מנסים ליום הצרפים, ליום אתה, ברוך יומנו, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו, ממקומך מלכנו תופיע, ותמלוך עלינו כי מחכים אנחנו לך, מתי תמלוך בציון בקרוב בימינו לעולם, ותשכון תקדש ותקדש ותוקדוש עלי עמך, ודור ודור ולנצח נצחים, ועינינו תראנה מלכותך, כדבר האמור בשירי עוזך. על ידי דוד משיח צדקך, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיגו לך, לדור ודור נגיגו לך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם, כי המלך גדול וקדוש, גדול וקדוש אתה, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Quiet Meditations of the Amidah, pages 256 to 266. 258 to 266. Shalom, oh, say shalom, shalom, bimroma, oh, yaseh. Torah service begins on page 312. En kamocha v'Elohim Adonai ve'en kema'asecha machotecha machot kol olamim u'memshatecha b'chol dor v'dor Adonai melech Adonai malach Adonai yimloch le'olam Adonai os le'amo yiten Adonai yevarech et amo
Okay. Do you hear me? Oh, thank you. Okay. So this morning I wanted to do some of the paintings from my book. No plug, really. And, the whole that the book came about because it's the morning service. There are 30 paintings that cover the whole Shabbat morning service. And originally, I was more of a Friday night goer. And then Paul said, you should come Saturdays because it's really, extra special. And so I started coming on Shabbat mornings, and I got involved with the prayers and reading the Torah and learning more and more of the Hebrew as I went along, just by looking like from the Hebrew to the English. But it just opened a whole new world to me because I hadn't grown up in a observant family, not really. We didn't belong to any synagogue or anything. And my only early experience was a community center day camp. That's where I learned the Shema. And I used to say it in my head all the time. So I always did want to learn more and more. And this gave me a perfect opportunity. And Paul was very supportive. And that's how this came to be. So I'll start over here. Okay. So I'll be discussing Shemot, but a lot of stuff takes place in Shemot, as we know. So two of the miracles in Shemot are going to be my topic. Actually, the one is in Shemot, and the other comes later in Bo, which is 2 parshiot later. But these inspired the paintings for the morning service. Okay, but first, a quick run-through of events, just in case you were absent. The second book of the Torah, and we know that Shemot means names, and the parsha begins by recounting all of the names of Jacob's sons. And that Jacob dies, and then Joseph dies, okay, in Shemot. And the current Pharaoh did not know Joseph. And our people increased very greatly, and the land was filled with us. I mean, that is not very complimentary the way it's written, but I guess that's how he... Because the Israelites were so numerous, the king says to his people, let us deal shrewdly or wisely with the Hebrews. The king always called them Hebrews. We refer to ourselves as Israelites. And so he wanted to keep us from increasing. Now, Rashi, who lived in France from 1040 to 1105, commented on this passage stating, the Pharaoh reasoned, in the event of war, they may join our enemies in fighting against us and take over so that the Egyptians would have to go up out of the land of Egypt. So it wasn't sometimes, that the Israelites would have to leave. The Ramban, also known as Nachmanides, was born in Verona, Spain in 1190. Later moved to Palestine, where he died in 1270. Rashi was a vintner, so that's why I buy Rashi Bartanura. But became a physician to one of the, I guess, Arab emirs or whatever, and he was very learned too. and he outlined the stages that he thought Pharaoh would use to control the Hebrews. So first, a tax on foreigners, not of money but labor, was customary. And Michael can jump in. And he would use this first and keep adding more and more labor on the Israelites. And if they complained about the work, the king would just say they were lazy. So he would start like propagandizing. And then the next was killing male children at birth by the midwives, who would suspect that the Pharaoh would make such a proclamation. So moving forward, give or take 400 years, the man called Moses appears on the scene. And he was saved, of course, from the present Pharaoh's policy of drowning all of the Hebrew male babies. But his mother, Yocheved, after hiding him for 3 months, set him on the water of the Nile in a wicker basket that she tarred. And then, of course, Miriam, his sister, followed to see. And then we know that Pharaoh's daughter, who didn't agree with her father, took him, and she was going to raise him. Miriam said, "Oh, I have the perfect wet nurse." And of course, so Moses went back to his mom until he was 3 years old, when he was weaned, and then he would go and live in the palace. And in my mind, because Pharaoh's daughter was so compassionate anyway, I would think that she would allow him to visit his family for traditions and things. So he knew, in my mind, that that he was an Israelite. But anyway, so now he's a grown man, and he sees, of course, the Egyptian taskmaster, and we know that push came to shove, and Moses was trying to stop the taskmaster from beating the slave, and the slave ended up, I don't know that Moses killed him or meant to, but anyway, the taskmaster ended up dead, and of course we know that. And then he was seen by another slave, and it scared him, so he ran away. Okay, so this is, oh right, and then and he ends up in Midian and saves 7 sisters at a well so they could get water. And Zipporah ran to her dad, and she said, "Oh, there's this really nice guy, not bad looking either." And he kept the men from getting the water first out of the well and helped us get our water. So her father was Yitro, and he was a priest of Midian. And he said, "Oh, invite him to dinner." Okay. And so after whatever time it took, Moses did marry Zipporah. And he became a shepherd of Yitro's flocks of sheep. Okay, now, I think we're caught up. So, let's see. Too many papers. Oh, yeah, I'll put the painting up first. Oh, I have the easel. Oh. Yeah. Okay. So the burning bush seems appropriate for illustrating revelation and commitment as expressed in Shema, the reading of the Shema. And although Moses delivered the declaration of faith to the Israelites at the end of their journey, again, I mean, he did it a couple months into the journey, His own faith in God had begun 40 years earlier while tending his father-in-law's sheep in the wilderness of Sinai. And during his search for a stray lamb, Moses noticed the fire in the distance. Yeah, and curious, he drew closer. Right, he drew closer and was amazed to discover a blazing bush. Though engulfed in flames, it was unconsumed. So, are miracles requisite for faith? Contrary to what Hollywood would have us believe, divine intervention is not announced by a booming voice. Okay, thank you. Instead, awareness of God comes as a small whisper, one that can be heard when we sit quietly with ourselves. Our sages taught that the world pursues its natural course, and so-called supernatural incidents occur daily. The burning bush, described by sources as a lowly desert shrub, was similar to others that exist today. They contain essential oils and spontaneously ignite in the heat, and then they blossom more beautifully when the flames subside. Rabbinic literature often interprets flames as a symbol of God's presence. Like a call to action, they represent critical self-evaluation, coming to terms with some inner struggle that stands in the path to one's true passion. Difficult as it may be, facing the truth is the first step toward renewal, and this was so for Moses. The infant son of Hebrew slaves, his mother placed him. We know that part. I'll skip over it. So, the miracle, the burning bush confirmed his trust in the power who transcends all others, and the one who would always be with him. Despite his trepidation, Moses rose to the seemingly insurmountable task of returning to Egypt to free his people. The miracle was not in the bush, but in Moses, who listened to the small voice within his heart and found himself. The burning bush is a metaphor for the Jewish people. Throughout centuries of persecution, we have maintained our faith. The commitment to God, Torah, and deeds of loving kindness are reaffirmed each time we read the Shema. Its words enjoin us to listen to the voice within, to pursue truth, undaunted by challenges along the way. So, and I'll point out some of them. Right, okay. Not going to work. Can you see over there? Okay. Action, how? Oh, well. Okay, all right. So, here is like an approach. I'm going to be towards the bush to take a look. And, the bush is burning. There's a sheen in there. Okay, and over here is, this was actually the doing the research behind it or something, and the wood, which is mentioned a lot in the Bible. It's very strong, and acacia is that kind of plant. And they burn and then they grow back. In fact, I remember hearing that man-made fires are worse. When fires start on their own, there's more rejuvenation afterwards. And the first trees that come back are the coniferous trees. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks. Oh, alrighty. Okay, so. All right, the next one is Yam Suf, the Red Sea. And for the third blessing of Shema, and sea, actually, when we think of a sea, we think of the ocean. But in Torah, that isn't the case. A sea is any body of water, a lake, a marsh. And in the temple, the sanctuary, there would be a laver that was called a sea. And it was supposed to be so big and made of certain materials. So when we read about the parting of the sea, it's not really an ocean, but a body of water. And then let's go on, and I'll just, whoop. It's slippery. Thanks. Okay, also, I wanted to show you, if you have your Chumash, at the back of the Chumash, there are some very cool maps. I love maps. And so after, I'll tell you what page. First you go to 1512, it's abbreviations. Skip the first map and go to this map and turn it that way. Okay? Yeah. So turn it horizontally. And there's, in Sinai, you'll see a route. There's the route, different routes that Moses could have taken when he took the people out of Egypt. Okay, so if he was running away from Egypt, then he probably wouldn't have gone straight across because there were other people living there, and it would have been easier for the Egyptians to chase him. So he in my mind, he went down here and crossed over at the Sea of Reeds, and it's a reedy marsh, it's not an ocean, and went down to Midian. That is my theory. Okay. All right, so the image represents my interpretation of events that took place at the Red Sea, more accurately, Sea of Reeds. On the right, and I had to, I wrote to Glenn Hurricane Schwartz because I wanted to find out more about hurricanes and tornadoes, and he said, well, you should get this book. And I told him, I don't want to go online and look, I want a book, because I still have 1 foot back in the last century. So he suggested the weather book by Jack Williams, all about thunderstorms and things. So on the right, if you can see it, maybe I have to read it up there. Oh, okay, yeah, that was, thank you. My assistant.
Let's see, how do I... target.
Oh, on the right side, a full moon illuminates a pillar of wind and rain that sweeps in violent gusts across a large marshland. As it passes, walls of water come up. See, there's a downburst before any kind of hurricane or tornado. There's usually a downburst, and it's very windy. So as it passes, the walls of water are drawn up on either side, creating a path for Moses and the Israelites. An eagle emerges from the pillar at the center. So you have here wings and the tail and the eagle's head. Thank you. Okay, let me find my place. Creating a path for Moses. The eagle, symbolic of God as Ezrat Avotenu, the help of our ancestors. Together, the eagle and the moon form a sheen, the first letter in Shaddai, Almighty, and Shekhinah, the presence. All night the Israelites passed through the reeds, shielded from the pursuing Egyptians by a torrential storm. In the morning, as they crossed onto dry land, the Israelites heard a loud roar from behind, and glancing back, they witnessed the destruction of Pharaoh's army, caught in the clutches of a tornado, which makes up one of the wings. Okay, the tornado had been spawned by a storm on the previous evening. Although the journey to the Promised Land would have been shorter via the northern route, as we saw, Moses suddenly turned the people toward the sea in the south. Why? Well, there are several explanations, but I imagine that he had traveled this way when he fled from Egypt as a young man. And then, living as a shepherd in the region of Sinai, he became keenly aware of seasonal weather patterns there. Now, at this crucial moment of his leadership, Moses heard God's small whisper as the voice of intuition, recalling the external power of the divine revealed in nature. He turned toward the longer, more familiar route. His faith in Adonai, the same true God and help of his ancestors, strengthened his faith in himself. Transcending his fear, Moses became God's partner and helped to create the miraculous escape at the sea. Unlike myths or fairy tales, it's not the happily ever after ending that Moses was hoping for. He would learn that transmitting one's faith to others is a difficult challenge. For the Israelites who had escaped the bonds of Egypt, the journey toward becoming a spiritually unfettered people would take a lot longer. Although it should have taken 11 days, they would wander in the desert for 40 years, a period of time symbolic of spiritual formation. The desert symbolizes narrow places of the mind that limit our full potential. Moses learned that one's faith in God must be renewed every day. How did he teach that to his people? Words alone were not enough. He was only able to reach them by example of his own behavior. And so that is my devar for today. And no, well, maybe later. Thank you. Yeah. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. Any questions? Any comments? No? Okay. All right, I will see. Oh, yes.
I loved the part about the bush and the symbol and what it actually means. That was just really mind-blowing. It really was.
Thank
I
you.
love that part.
Thanks. Okay. Well, I will get out of the way and we can go on with the Torah reading. Okay.
While waiting for our Torah reader, I have two announcements. First one is that, does anyone here have your site today that I haven't talked to about it yet? Okay, and the second announcement, minhag. A minhag is the local custom, or it's whatever the rabbi says it is. Our minhag here is that we have group announcements, group leaders. So it's possible for you to have two leaders in the day. And if that is the case, the first time you come up to the Torah, you recite the blessings. The second time you come up for Aliyah, quiescent, but to be there for the Aliyah. Okay. So we have two people today, but two Aliyah.
We're on chapter 3, verse 1. It's very fortuitous that Arlene talked about the burning bush, and that is exactly what we're reading today.
Baruch es Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam vo'ed. Baruch ato Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher b'charbonu mikol amim v'nosan lonu es Torah so. Baruch ato Adonai nosein haTorah.
Page 26. Amen. Moshe haya roeh etzon hitro otno kohen Midyan v'yinachag et hatzon achar bidbar vayavo el har Elohim Revam Vayera Malach Adonai Elav Velabach Esh Mitoch Hasne Vayar Vehine Hasne Veyor Vaesh V'hasne eneinu ha'ukal V'yomer Moshe Asuranam Ve'erem Et hamar hagadol Hazeh Madua Lo yiv'ar Hasne Vayar Adonai Yisar Nerot Vayikra Elav Elohim Mitoch Hasne Vayomer Moshe Vayomer Hineni
Baruch ato Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher nasan lonu Torah emes v'chayei olam nota b'sochenu. Baruch ato Adonai Hussein HaTorah.
Amen.
Continuing on verse 5, page 327.
With the first of our Halloween hymns. Ya'amon Shabsai ben Abraham Yehuda v'chet Torah Sheni.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach. Baruch Adonai HaBarach Olam V'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher b'Chapon Mikol Ha'amim V'nos Alonos Torah. Baruch Atah Adonai Nosein HaTorah.
Amen. Vayomer el tikrav halom shal na'alecha me'al raglecha vi hamakom asher ata omed alav Amdat kodeshu vayomer Anochi Elohei Avicha Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Vayaster Moshe Panav Ki Yareh Mehabit El HaElohim Vayomer Adonai Ra'iti et oni ami asher Mitzrayim ve'et za'akatam shamati mipnei nogsav ki yadati et machovav
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Nos Alonos Torah Sames B'chayei Olam Tabazuchenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Nosein HaTorah.
Third Aliyah is going to depart Torah. Ta'amal B'rikvat Moshe Udavara Shlishi.
Continuing on verse 8.
Baruch et Adonai HaBarach. Baruch Adonai HaBarach Li'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Baruch Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen. Vayered lechatzilo miyad Mitzrayim ul'a'aloto min ha'aretz hahi el eretz tova urchava el eretz zavat chalav udvash el makom hakanaani v'hachiti v'ha'emorim v'aprizim v'hachivi v'haivusi v'ata הנה צעקת בני ישראל באה אליי וגם ראיתי את הלחץ אשר מצרים לוחצים אותם ואתה לך ואשלחך אל פרעה והוצא את עמי בני ישראל ממצרים.
Baruch Atah Adonai
Eved Adonai HaBarach. Baruch atah Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam. Asher Bahar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. Amen. Vayomer Moshe El HaElohim Mi Anochi Ki Elech El Paro V'chi Hotzi Et Bnei Yisrael MiMitzrayim Vayomer Ki Ehyeh Imach V'zeh Lecha Ha'ot Ki Anochi Shelachticha V'hotziacha Et ha'am Mitzrayim Ta'avdun Et ha'Elohim Al ha'ar hazeh Vayomer Moshe El ha'Elohim Hinei Anochi El Bnei Yisrael Ve'amarti Lahem Elohei Avotechem Shelachani El Alechem Ve'amru li ma shemo ma omar aleihem Vayomer Elohim El Moshe Eye Asher Eye Vayomer Ko Tomar Livnei Yisrael Eye Shelachani Alechem. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam Asher natan lanu Torah v'chayei olam nota b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. We pause now in our Torah reading to extend a Mishivera for all those who are in seek of healing for themselves, for loved ones. We rise at our place, and I welcome anyone who prefers to say their name individually to themselves or out loud. A moment to pause. Yishaber Achavotenu Avraham Yitzhak v'Yaakov Tzara Refarach Aleya Yivarech v'Yirapeh. ואת כל החולים בתפילתנו וישלח לכם רפואה שלמה, רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף, בתוך שאר חולי ישראל. שבת avotechem, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Shalachani Aleichem. זה שמי לעולם וזה זכרי לדור ודור. לך ואספת את זקני ישראל ואמרת עליהם אדוני אלוהי אבותיכם נראה אלי אלוהי אברהם, יצחק ויעקב לאמור, פקדתי אתכם ואת העשוי לכם במצרים, ואומר אלה אתכם אני מצרים אל ארץ הכנעני והחיתי והאמורי הפריזי והחיבי והיבוסי אל ארץ זבת חלב ודבש.
אשר נתן לנו תורה באמת וחיי העולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
אמן.
Baruch Adonai Baruch. Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam V'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher b'chabanu mikol ha'amim v'nosan lanu es toroso. Baruch Atah Adonai Nosein HaTorah.
Amen. Vayashav Moshe el Adonai Adonai vayomer Adonai lama harotam le'am hazeh lama zeh והצל לו הצלת את שמך את עמך ויאמר אדוני אל משה אתה תראה אשר אעשה לפרעה כי ביד חזקה ישלחם וביד חזקה יגרשם מארצו.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נתן בסוכנו ברוך אתה אדוני נושא התורה.
Amen. What, before you go, Sam, I got something for you. Oh, yeah. So have you? I do? Okay. It's part of my skit. So, last night, since we're doing our Zoom, our Shabbat services over Zoom, I mentioned, somebody actually, Eileen Jaffe, didn't get a chance to share her thoughts because of the muting, the whole tech problem. I think was the only unfortunate thing about Thursday, because everything about it was beautiful and wonderful being able to share in Paul's loving memory. So something that Eileen said last night is that one of the things that will always remind her of Cantor Paul is her numerology, and how he always found every little piece of meaning in the way he did his gematria. He brought that to Ohev Shalom, and it is something we kind of expect. It's something we look forward to, right? So I used to have a really great source online, and finding out over this past week, it no longer provides my Hebrew gematria connection. So I was like, okay, I gotta honor Sam, because I asked Sam, when was your bar mitzvah? And he said 1959, which brings us, if Paul was here, would be 64. And if anybody knows me, and I think you all do, I kind of like the Beatles, right? So can you connect maybe where I'm going with this? So it's not necessarily a gematria, but in honor of your 64th anniversary, I wrote you a little ditty based on when I'm 64. When it comes time to do Haftarah every year from now, will you still be sharing your chanting from your booklet, worn out but wow? With Ohev family, we really love what you have in store. Can you believe it? It's really special. Anniversary 64. So let me offer you a Misha Berach in your honor of the 64th bar mitzvah anniversary. Misha Berach Avatenu Vracham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Lebeleah O Yivarech et Shalamai Leva Ben Avraham Yehuda V'Chaya Devora V'Kol Ele She'alu Hayom HaTorah HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yishmerem V'Chazkehem V'Yishlach Bracha V'Hatzlacha V'Chol Ma'aseh Yedehem In Kol Beit Yisrael V'Nomar Amen.
And while we're in blessing mode, blessing, before we lift the Torah, a blessing from the Bion. Ground control. Berach Avatenu Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov Sarah Rivka Leah ויברך את כל אלה שעלו לכבוד המקום, לכבוד התורה, לכבוד השבת, ואת כל אלה שנכנסו בתפילה. עיקר זה הקדוש ברוך הוא, ישמרכם ויצילכם מכל צרה בטוחה, ומכל נגע ומחלה וישלח ברכה, והצלחה בכל מעשה ידיהם, עם כל ישראל אחיכם, ונאמר אמן.
The one that blessed our
this, may the Holy One guard them and save them from all trouble or distress, affliction and illness. May God send blessing and success in all work of their hands, with all Israel, their brothers and sisters. And together we say,
Amen. All rise for the lifting and wrapping of the Torah. Ya'amod Moshe ben Binyamin b'tzipor Shendel HaMatkiha v'Veria bat Shielin Esther HaGolelet. Left side.
So as you know, Sam will be chanting his B'nai Mitzvah Natir. You find Haftarah Shemot on page 343.
It's funny, the book is so old, the pages keep falling out, so they shifted it. It's fun. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bochar b'yamim tovim v'yotzar v'divreihem hanemonim le'emes. Baruch atah Adonai abocher b'torah u'moshe avdo Yisrael amo v'yehu emes v'tzedek. Aboim yashresh Yaakov yotzitzu forach Yisrael u'molu fnei sevei tenuvo ach makas makehu hikohu im kehereg harugov horohu v'saso'o v'shachot riveno hogo rucho hakasho b'yom kodim lochein Zo shechupar avon Yaakov v'zeh kol pricho siratoso v'shumo kol avnei mizbeach ki avnei gir menu potzos lo yakumu asherim chamonim ki ir b'tzura bodot novem shuloch v'nezov kad midbor Shamir Egel, Shamir Bots, Bechilas Ifeha, Bivosh, Kesirat, Ishovarno, Nosh Shim, Vaos Miros Osa, Kilo, Ambinos, Hu, Al Kain, Loyachamenu, Osehu, Yotzro Lo Yechunenu. V'haya b'yom hahu yachbor Adonai v'shibol hanahar ad nacha Mitzrayim v'yatem tuluktu v'yachar echad b'nei Yisrael v'haya b'yom hahu yitoka b'shofar gadol U'avodim be'eretz Ashur v'hanidochim be'eretz Mitzrayim v'hishtachavu l'Adonai בהר הקודש בירושלים. אוי, עטרת גיוס שיכורי אפרים, וציץ נובל צבי ספרתו, אשר על ראש גשמונים חלומי יוין. הנה חזק ואמיץ לאדוני, כזרם ברד שער כותב, כזרם מים כבירים שטפים, הניח לארץ ביוד. ברגליים תרומסנו, עטרת גיוס שיכורי אפרים. והיסוד ציצס נובל צבי ספרתו, אשר על ראש גשמונים, כביקורו בטרם קיץ, אשר יראה הרואה עושו, ויודע בכפו יבלענו. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני צבאות לעטרת צבי, ולצפירת תפארו לשור עמו, ורוח משפט ליושב המשפט, ואלי גבורו ושיבי מלחמה שורו. וגם אלה ביין שוגו ובשיכור טעו, כהן ונביא. שוגו בשיכור נבלו מן היין, טעו מן השיכור, שוגו ברועה פקו פליליות. כי כל שכנוס מלאו כיסאו בלי מקום. אסמי יורד איוב, ואסמי יבין שמועו, גמולי מחולוב, עתיקי משודוים. כי צב לא צוב, צב לא צוב, קו לא קוב, קו לא קוב, זוהר שום, זוהר שום. כי בלוגי שופו, ובלשון אחרס, ידבר אהום הזה. אשר אומר עליהם, זוס המלוכו, הניחו לאויב, וזוס המרגיה, ולא עלו שמוע. והיה להם דבר אדוני, צב לא צוב, צב לא צוב, קו לא קוב, קו לא קוב, זוהר שום, זוהר שום. למען ילכו וכשלו אחר ונשברו, ונקשו ונלכדו. לכן כה יאמר אדוני אל בית יעקב, ויספדו את אברהם, לא עתה לבוש יעקב, ולא עתה ענוב יחברו. כי ברסו ילדי, מעשה ידי, בקרבו יקדישו שמי, והקדישו את קדוש יעקב, ויסר לישראל יריצו. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, צור כל העולמים, צדיק בכל הדורות, אוהל הנאמן, האומר ויעשה, המדבר ומקיים, שכל דבריו אמת וצדק. נאמן אתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו, ונאמנים מדבריך, ודבר אחד מדבריך, כל ישוב ריקום. כי אל מלך נאמן ורחמן אתה, ברוך אתה אדוני. אוהל הנאמן בכל דבריו. רחם על ציון כהיבס חיינו, ולעלובס נפש תושיע במהרה בימינו. ברוך אתה אדוני, משמח ציון בבונך. Samcheinu Adonai Eloheinu Be'eli Yohanovi Abadecha U'machus Beis David Misichecha B'imheira Yavo V'yogea Libenu Aki Solo Yeshiv Zor V'lo Yichalud Od Acherim Es Kavado Ki B'Shem Kodshecha Nishpat Lo Shalo Yichben Era Le'lam V'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Magen David Al HaTorah V'Al Havodah V'Al Hanvim V'Yom HaShabbos Hazeh Shenosata Lanu Adonai Eloheinu L'Kedusha V'Limnucha L'Chavod U'Sifores Al HaKol Adonai Eloheinu Anachnu Modim Loch V'Orchim Osach Yisborach Shimcha B'Ficho Chai Tamid Le'olam V'Ed Baruch Atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbos. Amen.
That's how you do a Haftarah. 64 years in the making. Love it. He remembers it. That's a canner's dream right there. The Torah is rising. You shall rise as well. We invite you to do so. First we'll do the prayer for Israel on page 332. Adonai Eloheinu, Tor Yisrael v'koalo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael, v'hagen alecha. We ask your blessings, O God, for the state of Israel, for the land of Israel, and for the people of Israel. Bless those who defend the land and protect its people. Bless its leaders with wisdom, courage, and dedication. May they be resolute in the face of challenge and unwavering in the pursuit of justice and peace. May Israel be a beacon of hope for the oppressed, a source of inspiration to all who are free. Fulfill in our day the ancient promise, Zion b'mishpat tipadeh, v'shaveha b'tzedakah. Zion shall be redeemed through justice, and its inhabitants through righteousness. Continue on page 340. Yehalelu et Shem Adonai, ki niskaf Shemo levado, odo al eretz v'shamayim, vayarem keren le'amo, tehillah lechol chasidav, libnei Yisrael al kerovo. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Mizmor leDavid, page 342. Avu l'Adonai ne'elim, Avu l'Adonai kavod, Avu l'Adonai kevod shemo, Ishachavu l'Adonai behadra kodesh, Kol Adonai hamayim l'kavod hirim, Adonai hamayim rabim, Kol Adonai ba'koach, Kol Adonai be'adar, Kol Adonai shober arazim, Vayishaber Adonai et arzeh ha'levanon, vayarnideh kemo egel, Levano b'Sirion, kemo b'Ne'emim, Kol Adonai chotev l'havotesh, Kol Adonai yachil midbar, Yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, Kol Adonai yachol v'ayalom, v'yachet lov yarot, v'chechalov u'lo, v'omer kavod, Adonai avu yasham, v'yeshev Adonai melech le'olam. Let's turn together excuse me, for a moment of Musaf on page 363. Retsev Nuchatenu. Let's read responsibly in the English first. And we'll turn to Yismechu after. Our God and God of our ancestors, may our Shabbat rest be acceptable to you. May we find contentment in your blessings and joy in your sustaining power. May your people Israel, who sanctify your name, find true rest on this day. Praised are you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Top of 362, Yismechu. Yismechu. Shabbat, kolam yismehu, ve'yitanu mitu becha, yismechu b'malchutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'koreh, oneh Shabbat, yismechu b'malchutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'koreh, oneh Shabbat. Ratzitabo v'kidasho Shabbat, chedat yamim, oto karata Shabbat, yismechu b'malchutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'koreh, oneh Shabbat, yismechu b'malchutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'koreh, oneh Shabbat. Zecher lema'aseh b'reishit Shabbat. Zecher lema'aseh b'reishit Shabbat. Continue the concluding prayers of Musaf, page 400, Ein Kelohenu. Ein Kelohenu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Moshienu, Mich Eloheinu, Mich Adonenu, Mich Emalkeinu, Mich Moshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Emalkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu, Atahu Shektinu, Avotenu, Lefanecha, Eketoret Hasamim. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'atei gedula le'otzer b'reishit, shelo asanu k'goyei ha'aratzot, ve'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, ve'kor aleinu k'chol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, u'mishacharim u'modim, lifnei melech, malachei amlachim, hakadosh baruch hu, she'unu teshamayim me'yoser haaretz, u'moshev yekaro b'shamayim ima'at, u'shchinatu zo, ve'govhei meromi, O Eloheinu, והשבות האל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים עמה, ועל הארץ מתחת עינות עינות. It is your custom, you may be seated. Al כן נקבל לך אדוני אלוהינו. כי המלכות שלה היא עולה מאה תמלוך בכבוד, כך כתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד. During the course of this week, we have our beloved yard sites of our loved ones. But in the past week, we've lost many members of our Ohev Communities family. And so today, we honor and we note the sorrow passing of David Pollack, uncle of Bernie Pollack, Shirley Rosenberg, dear mother of Lori Peck, Lauren Spellman, mother of Sam and Phyllis Spellman, Walter Korn, father of Scott Korn, and Audrey Kleeman, and Brenda Schwartz, sister of Sheila Goodman, and our dear grandmother, Maria Graciela Ceballos Ferria. During this past week, we remember Dorothy Shear, Annette Blumenthal, Ronald Rosenthal, Ellie Titleman, Florence Petrushansky, Hyman Halpern, Jewel Satinsky, Richard Greenspan, Ruth Juchin Gitlin, Ruth Goldstein, Bessie Levin, Mary Schwartz, Mildred Lazar, Max Zaroff, Sarah Schwartz, our dear Cantor Paul Freimark, Helen Halpern, Hyman Gruberg, Isidore Rubin, Leonard Gordon, Rose Leibovec, Theodore Selznick, Aaron Jaffe, David Gordon, Morris Niesman, Ann B. Cohen, Bennett Seinfeld, Gloria Gerson, Israel Dorman, Joseph Spivak, and Maxine Silver. Are there any other names that I've missed? Yes. Sarah Lynn Molnar, and Sarah is congregant. Thank you. I'll check in with Melissa. So all of us who are reciting Yartzeit tonight, today, this morning, we turn to page 410. We rise for Mourner's Kaddish. Yitzkadal v'yitzkadash shemei rabbah v'yamad yivarach yirteh v'yamlich malchuteh v'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei v'chol beit Yisrael v'agala u'v'zman karev yimru amen Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almayah Yivarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudashah b'recho v'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata da'amiran me'alma v'yimru amen Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen Oseh shalom b'mormav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. So in his direction. Oh, there he is. I'd like to welcome our president, Michael Goldstein, to give us a few announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. All right. So we've got morning minyan tomorrow at 8:30. Virtual bingo is Monday at 7:30, and Tuesday at noon to 3 is Mahjong. Canasta on Thursday. Going through the 15th of January, I guess it's just Monday. Monday is the drop your household goods off, donations off at the loading dock. And of course, we've got Descendants coming up and a couple other programs. The bingo again in February 2nd, the Women's Studies group this week on the 18th, cooking meals for those in need at the end of the month on the 30th, the Inclusion Shabbat followed by, on the 11th of February, followed by a presentation, Sanctifying the Stutter, and then, as I mentioned again, Descendants President's Day weekend, I believe the 16th through the 20th. Anybody have anything they want to mention that I missed? Okay, Shabbat Shalom.
Thanks, Michael. So I'm going to add two little tidbits. So the Descendants, which is our Ohev Players musical, tickets are already on sale. I advise you, I plead with you, please go get your tickets now. They are amazing. I haven't even seen what the kids do. I just hear them all day, every week, and they are really, they blow me away. Adults and kids alike. Whoever's in the show is doing fabulous work. So please come out and support them. It's not until mid-February. I think it's the one weekend only. So it's important to clear your schedule. Make sure you come and celebrate the Ohev Players. There was one other thing that I wanted to. Now I can't remember it. That's okay. Michael did a good job, and he has a list. And if you don't have the list, it's also on our Shabbatogram online. There's lots and lots and lots of things happening over there. I want to say Yasher Koach to Sam on a wonderful Haftarah. Thank you to the Goldsteins for opening up our Ark earlier. What's that? I love it. And to all of you for being present, for being here. And especially, yes, I was getting there, friend, I promise. And especially to Arlene, who gave a really beautiful artistic interpretation of this week's parasha. Really just Exodus in general with B'Yam Suf. It was wonderful to have a different way in which we approach the parasha. So thank you for all your beautiful artwork and your interpretation of it. Thanks so much. Well, if there's nothing more to add, let's conclude Adon Olam 4:12. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'Terecho Yatzir Nivra Le'ad Nasa V'Chafso Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Ve'acharei Kitlon HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Ve'hu Haya Ve'hu Hover Ve'hu Yeh B'Tifara Ve'hu Yeh B'Tifara Ve'hu Echad V'yek Sheni Lehavshilo Ve'achbira Ve'lirishi Ve'litachli Ve'lo Ha'oz Ve'hamisra Ve'lo Ha'oz Ve'hamisra Ve'hu Eli Ve'chad Go'ali Ve'tzor Eli Ve'yetzara Ve'hu Nisi U'manosli Ve'nakosi Ve'yom Ekra Ve'nakosi Ve'yom Ekra Ve'yado Akidruchi Be'etishan Ve'ayira Ve'imnochi Geviati Adonai li ve'lo ira Adonai li ve'lo ira. As we rise for Rosh Hashanah, I just want to make a quick note. I want to send an extended welcome to our friend over here, Karen Walker. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We're happy to have you here. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat לדורותם ברית עולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. על כן ברך אדוני את יום השבת ויקדשהו, סברי חברי. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן לחיים. Shabbat